Summer trips to the camper and the lake are winding down. The merlins that were nesting at my in-laws' lake lot have finally fledged. They were using an old crow's nest right above the fire pit, and that's where they came down. This guy looks cute, but he will soon be eating 900 birds a year. As our oldest leaves for college, I'm reminded of all the work the parents put in to get this guy out of the nest. They even hunt in tandem, with one merlin flushing a flock of waxwings to the other who is waiting to snatch them out of the air. I saw this pair of hairy woodpeckers on a nearby tree. You can tell this guy is not a downy because his bill is as large as his head. Downies have a shorter bill. Unlike many woodpeckers, northern flickers in this part of Minnesota will migrate south soon. Who is this woodpecker? Well, it's a female, and actually one of the few long-distance migrators who spend its winters in Mexico. I recognized her because I had seen a pair together a few weeks earlier. She is a yellow-bellied sapsucker. You can actually use the term beak and bill interchangeably, but I always use beak for hawks and bill for woodpeckers. But in this case, the better term is drill. It seems like he has a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch bit. Actually, they drill sap wells in rows and columns around the tree. The small round holes go deep to reach the flowing sap in the xylem, usually in the spring. The rectangular holes are shallower to reach the phloem and provide ongoing access to sap throughout the summer. It is possible for a tree to become girdled and lose water supply by these rings, but the damage is usually just cosmetic. Meanwhile, these sap wells attract insects and other pollinators like hummingbirds, which we will feature in this episode. The sapsucker actually creates a whole ecosystem, attracting porcupines and squirrels and everything else to their sap well apartment complex for bugs. Many shorebirds have already been to their breeding grounds in the Arctic and are heading back south. As heavy rains have created temporary mudflats in farm fields in southern Minnesota, the sandpipers show up. The field floods and they are instantly there. How do they know? I believe they spot the mud from the air as they fly south. When you go back and look at the pictures, you can barely distinguish pectoral and least sandpipers, but it's easy to tell in person as the least sandpipers are tiny and avoid the deeper water. In the deep water, we've seen stilt sandpipers, but all of my pictures were only of lesser yellow legs, which look similar but have a thinner bell. On my walks, I've started seeing Baltimore Orioles again, so some of them must already be heading south as well. I never make a trip to the Crow-Hassan in summer without hearing and seeing indigo buntings. A couple other prevalent birds of late summer that you can hear and see even midday are goldfinches and eastern wood pewees. I caught this wood pewee mid-call. You will also see and hear many field sparrows on every walk. At the water treatment plant, spotted sandpipers are returning. as well as large flocks of Franklin's gulls heading south. They have lost their all-black heads of their breeding plumage, but they are still easy to tell from ring-billed gulls by their partial black hood. Another unmistakable silhouette is the double-crested cormorant. Tree pollination takes place in the spring. Apples are mainly pollinated by honeybees and bumblebees, like the one checking out these blue vervain flowers. They are attracted to the tree's flowers and collect the nectar, causing the pollen to stick to their hairy bodies. Then they fly to another flower where they deposit the pollen on the stigma, which can germinate, creating a pollen tube to the ovary where fertilization occurs. Fruit is basically just ripened ovaries. Pollinators, like this ruby-throated hummingbird, are still everywhere, even in August. Hummingbirds are responsible for pollinating about 30 different plants in Minnesota. In June and July, grass pollen season follows tree pollen, and now we have moved into the weed pollen season. The Crowhasset is also full of bee balm, which attracts these eastern tiger swallowtails. Is that a monarch hiding in those weeds? No, it's a viceroy. The viceroy has a black line cutting across its wings that makes a V shape. Being mistaken for a monarch is to their benefit because monarchs are poisonous and nothing eats them. Unlike monarchs, viceroys don't migrate, but hummingbirds do. After seeing so many, I decided to put my feeder back out. I was also fortunate to see a black swallowtail butterfly. Their normal host plants are parsley, dill, fennel, and carrots. Almost sounds like a Simon and Garfunkel song. I've never had my hummingbird feeder up in late summer, but it is much more entertaining than the spring. This ravenous feeding time, called hyperphagia, is helping these guys, especially the juveniles, build up the fat reserves they need for a 2,500-mile journey. They need to eat 1.5 to 3 times their body weight every day. The eastern phoebe has also returned to our backyard and is also feeding ravenously. He is not the same friendly phoebe I met this time last year, but he is a good flycatcher. The hummingbirds are a little jumpy as there are so many competing for our feeder. Even though they only feed one at a time, there have been as many as 4 all fighting over it at once. Usually whenever a new bird comes in, they chase the one already feeding away. This guy gets quite startled by a bee sneaking around the feeder. It seemed like we were having all females visit, until I realized that some of these were immature males who only have a couple of ruby spots in their throat. Female ruby-throated hummingbirds have an all-white or gray throat. Only the males have the iridescent ruby gorget, which looks black when it doesn't catch the light. Here you can see a male scaring the female away. Just about every early September, the Crowhasson gets a storm of migrating monarchs who are here to consume the purple, rough, blazing star flower to get enough energy for migration. You can see that these buds have not fully opened, and so we are not inundated with monarchs yet. Monarchs born during the summer only live for 2 to 6 weeks as adults. The super generation, which migrates to Mexico, is born at the end of summer and can live 6 to 9 months. Fortunately, this guy doesn't have a passport for Mexico. His wings are already pretty beat up, but you can see he is a monarch and not a viceroy. Don't worry, this channel has not changed to all new butterflies. I did photograph a phoebe, a kingbird, and a female common yellowthroat as I continued my walk. Merlin says gray catbirds skulk in the thicket but sometimes pop up conspicuously, and that's exactly what this guy did. Cardinals also love thickets on the edge of forests. Since they are always paired up, I usually photograph the male, especially in winter. So this time I captured the female. As I was checking out yet another tiger swallowtail, I noticed a large hornet nest above me. There could be 1,000 bald-faced hornets in there. I always thought these were paper wasps, who also make a nest of chewed-up wood fibers and saliva, but it turns out that their nest is only one comb of cells with no envelope covering it. These hornets help with pollination, but they are better known for capturing insects and spiders to feed to their young. I'll close the video with some of my best shots of the ruby-throated hummingbirds gorging themselves the last few days. Many of the flowers they pollinate have long tubes full of nectar. It helps that they can move their tongue in and out 13 times a second. I included some slow-motion footage at the end of the video so you can appreciate the tongue speed. You will also see them splashing the bottom of the tray of the feeder with their tongue if you look closely. You won't see their individual wing flaps because that happens 50 times a second. Imagine how many flaps they need to cross the Gulf of Mexico in one shot. They are tough little birds, but like humans, they also have a decent respect for bees.